Hey guys, welcome back to the Detour Live. It's good to be back in the host chair. It was a tough watch at times, watching Iffy fumble his way around the schedule, but there's no guarantees because it was a jam-packed.
You have a day off and you're bagging me. Right.
No, yeah. I thought you did a good job. You did a great job. It was a great show. Chapeau. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, and thanks again for supporting the channel, youtube.com/the Detour Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Joined, as always, by four-time national road champion Johnny Truro, voice of cycling Phil Liggett, and the sheriff, Neil Stevens from Bahrain Victorious. Look at him. Looks like a Cheshire cat. He's got a grin. Good on you, sheriff. The old send a bloke up the road, drop him back, put the acid on the old podium, mate. Never in that, eh?
It was sensational. Now, I was going to say, what did you have to do with all of that, Neil? What did you have to do with that whole plan?
That's a bloody coincidence, actually. I got the old scrapbook out from the Green Edge days, and I did a bit of a copy and paste, and it all turned out okay. So, no, the truth is we had a bit of a plan organised. The plan that started a few days ago, when we knew we had to have a lot of firepower in the last half of the race, and ideally, if we had someone up the road, that'd be better. But we really tried to save energy over the last few days wherever we could. And I just said to the guys, look, today's going to be a crucial day. Today, there's going to be big changes in the GC. I don't know which side we're going to be on, but we've got to go out and be proactive. And so it was just more about getting the culture going, getting the boys ready to take advantage of any ideas, any situations that arose. And so probably the secret was when that situation did arise, dominate on it quickly, getting boys on the front, stop the guy at the front like we did a few years ago with Esteban, and then we saw how it panned out.
Iffy?
It was look, sensational, mate. I mean, you couldn't have scripted it better if you tried. But when it split, like with about 50k out, when you guys got that gap on Lopez, and then no one would help him. He was sitting there. Bernal decided he didn't care, so just let it go. And it stayed at about 30 seconds for a while, and Jack was having to jump in and help. That was when it was a real smart move to get the other guy back from the break, because that was really crucial.
Yeah, that's it. That was the moment where we sort of said straight away, Jack, even you get in, ride flat out, and then we'll see it 15 seconds, and there was a moment when it almost looked like it was going to come back. And then when it grew out to 30 seconds, 45 seconds, that's when I chucked Jack off the front again and just left Gino on the front, because we all knew that later on in the day, Adam Yates was going to start attacking us again. But that 5 kilometres or so was crucial.
Well, it sounds like what's crucial is your ability to, as you said, to think stages ahead and not cook your biscuits. And you gave us that analogy of $5 in the bank, and looks like you guys went to the candy bar yesterday, Sheriff.
And what about Mad Earth, Neil? What about Mad Earth? I mean, the white jersey, yes, it wasn't so important to Egon Bernal, but this must have been an unbelievable dream realised, because the kid could never have thought he'd finish up in white.
Yeah, Gino's been fantastic, and as you've seen in all the big mountain stages, and that was the main reason. Like stopping the guy out in the front yesterday was about trying to make sure that Jack was his podium place was well guaranteed. But a large section of that was for Gino, to make sure that he would get up in the top 5, make sure he'd get the white jersey, and so that was a bit about paying back a bit of a favour to him as well for the work he's done over the last few days. And Gino, I said it a few months ago to one of our staff meetings. I said he's a very, very talented rider. If we can just get him to believe in himself a little bit. He's been really calm throughout this welter. I think probably because he's in the shadow of Jack, but he's been able to get through this really well. He's nice and calm. He's never asked for anything. And look at that. He's in a white jersey, 5th overall, and he's starting to enjoy the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, and while we've got a bit of silence here, now with your Spanish nationality hat on, Neil, tell me what the Spanish are saying about the fact they haven't won a stage of this race yet, and if they don't win today, which is highly improbable, they won't have won a stage for 25 years. It's never been a dearth of results for 25 years. What are the Spanish press saying?
You might get another trolley bag knocked off, mate.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've got to take my Basque hat off before I put my Spanish one back on again.
Of course, indeed.
Yeah, but there was actually two dramas unfolding in the Vuelta. There was the fact that no Spaniard had won, and there was the fact that Movistar hadn't won a stage in any of the Grand Tours up until now. Lopez, before his exit yesterday, he took a stage out the other day, and that was sort of one of the monkeys off their back. But now with the Spanish not winning a stage, it is a bit of a little bit embarrassing. Enric Mas is going great here. He's going to be on the podium, but yeah, the stage win itself hasn't come about, and it is a bit of a sore point to bring up with the Spanish people.
And they haven't won a stage in a Grand Tour this year either. They didn't win a stage at the Giro or the Tour. So not good for Spanish cycling. There you go. But you have to worry about that. It's not a Spanish
like
team.
This with the UK riders. We used to have these records set quite often, but now we do win the odd stage.
I was just going to say, Neil, I know you don't have any credit cards on you, but are you going to buy a 6-pack for Julian Dean for that little pulling effort from Nick Schultz?
Nick, what a ripper, eh? We had Mark Padoon on the front at that stage, and we picked up Nick, and I didn't say anything to him. I just looked up, and there he was swapping a couple of turns. That's bloody beautiful, you know. Like I don't know whether he started out going to Jack or he just got on and did a couple of turns off his own bat, but bloody good on him, you know. And it's good to see. Nick's a bloody good bike rider. He's a good lad, and there you go. He's just come in and done a couple of turns for a mate yesterday as well.
I was really surprised in that last 4K, which was enormous, you know, with what was going on. But they kept easing, and then different riders would get back on. But it surprised me that Adam Yates, a couple of times, he opened up quite a good gap. It got to sort of 30 or 40 metres back to Jack. And then the others get to him, he would sit up. I just thought, gee, that's strange. I mean, you only had to keep it going a little bit. Jack was in a bit of trouble, but he didn't care. Obviously, he was at his limit, but that surprised me.
Yeah. Well, it surprised me in a nice sort of way, really. Jack, he was never really in. He was obviously uncomfortable. He was never really on the limit, you know. So each little pinch, I was telling him how long those pinches were, whether they're 200 metres or 300 metres, and he was just going over to try to get under the flatter sections with a bit of energy. I wasn't really watching Adam as such, but making sure that we paced ourselves through that section. But like I said, I was really obsessed with Adam. I started talking about Adam with Jack about 30 kilometres to go, and that was our objective was to not lose too much time, if at all. And we lost 4 seconds in the finishing line. So now we're a minute down. We're a minute up, sorry. I've just been out and reconned the circuit. Jack's going to turn up to the bus here in a minute, and we're going to go and ride the circuit as well. But it's not a bad time trial for Jack. It's certainly not a bad time trial for Adam as well. But I think we might go okay, eh?
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's from a Brit.
There's not a lot of difference between them in time trials. If you go back through the history, Adam's sort of got his act together a bit in the last 12 months, no doubt about that. But you would think if they're both on song, you would think Adam might only take 20 or 30 seconds. I hope.
Yeah. It's funny if you look at the data on both of them. It's not you can't really base yourself too much on it because Adam, as his time trialing has improved over the last 12 months. But also Jack hasn't got that many time trial results because he's always been working for his teammates up until now. This year he has stepped it up. He's done just recently in the Dauphiné. He did a decent time trial. In fact, the time trial at the start of this race, there was only 1 second between them. So there you go. I reckon the start, the first 10 kilometres or so might favour Adam a little bit more. And I think the second half of the time trial might favour Jack. So anyway, let's see how it pans out.
Got a couple of live comments coming in. Wendy Superfan, fingers crossed for Jack to stay on the podium. Gary Tilley says, well done, Steve-O. I'm sure there's been plenty of planning behind the scenes. Just to give people an insight, I mean, how much planning goes into a campaign like this one?
Yeah, planning. Like it starts, well, as you know, the route comes out in January. I generally start getting in my car, like not long after that. I'm on the phone to my mate, because he's one of the race organisers. I go around looking at different roads and that sort of stuff all through the year. Got my son, he comes with me sometimes, and we share a couple of kilometres along the way, and then that's when I start to formulate plans, start to work out where we can spend energy, where we might be able to save energy. And so it's basically a 9 or 10 month build up, and then obviously we have to be able to adjust as we get closer to that. But like even right now, last night over dinner, I gave a toast to the workers of the team, the masseurs, the coaches, and so forth. And I said, look, everything fell into place today, but it's not over yet. We've got a really hard day tomorrow. Time trials on. We've got to really just make sure we're really focused, because we've got to help our riders be focused as well. This morning at 7:30, our staff were up and about, loading cars, pumping tyres and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, the race finishes tonight. It's a good almost a year of building up to this. So when you see things fall into place, it's not actually that easy.
Matthew says, hi, boys. So impressed with Team Bahrain Victorious working as a team to help Jack. It's great to see him reaching his potential. We talked about this the other day, Neil, but it must give you a really good feeling knowing that you've seen a rider like Jack through the Green Edge days, and knowing that, you played a big role, obviously, with the Vuelta, but knowing that, the development, the excitement, looking forward to the future as well.
Yeah, I think it's the same with anyone, and you guys will be the same. You guys haven't been involved in their sporting part of it, but you've been involved. You know Jack, and you know what he's been through. Like I say, we just mentioned a minute ago, Nick, how his past is going through, and it's bloody lovely to be able to know that what they've gone through, and actually to be part of it's even more special. And so Jack having him when I knew that I was coming to this team, and I knew Jack was coming to this team. That made it very special, and the fact that we can coincide in the races, and maybe my little bit of whatever I've done to assist in the result he's getting here, well, that's fantastic. But it's really, really fulfilling to watch a guy that we've known for years to start to go on, and I tend to think this is just the start of it. He's only 27, so it's really nice and really fulfilling.
Couple more bang through. Carolyn says, love the Sheriff. Zippy says, welcome to the Sheriff of Fruit and Oats. Always great to see you on the show. Congrats with how things are going. And obviously, you've just answered. Stuart McIntosh says, how does Neil find him with Jack Haig? He seems like an easygoing character. He's like that off the bike as well, isn't he, Neil?
Yeah, yes. I think we were actually talking about it with the staff last night. We've all got our moments, where there's a bit of stress, like you. When my radio doesn't work, I get a bit stressed out with people as well. But Jack, there's fiery moments and that sort of stuff. And Jack's always the first one to come back later if he's lost his cool. Sorry about that, fellas, and just calms things down. He's very appreciative of his workmates, his teammates. He's always thanks and please and that sort of stuff. And he is quite an easy guy to work with as well. And it's. Like I say, it's all testing. Everything's testing over a 3-week bike race, but at the end of the day, the results are on the board.
Now, I was going to say, Bahrain Victorious are sort of getting pretty victorious everywhere. Benelux Tour last night, you got 1-2, Sonny Colbrelli and Matej Mahorek, 1-2 in the stage, and then they're 1-2 on GC with a great finale up the 4 times up the Mur today. Should be exciting, but brilliant for the team, mate.
Yeah, I sort of heard about that in the race car. I wasn't really paying that much attention, but in the conversations over dinner last night, we heard about how the boys are going there. They've got a really complicated day there today, but I think it was we touched on this subject the other day. When the race results are coming in, it's sometimes quite often to keep on going that way, and sometimes when there's a bit of a dry patch for results, and they actually need the results, that's when they don't turn up. And so we're on song at the moment, but I think it's maybe in my character a bit. When you're on song, when things are going good, I start to already start to plan the dry periods and try to work out how we can keep on getting the odd victory every now and again.
Last one for me, Sheriff, is you've obviously come to a new team at the start of the year, and now you're at the back end of the year and you're seeing some fantastic results. How much have you seen the culture sort of shift within that team and bring across the toolkit that you've learned over years' experience?
That's exactly, you've hit the head on the nail on the head. I was going to say it that way around again.
Hit the head on the nail.
Head on the nail, buddy. Boom. Yeah. But the culture. That's a big thing, and I think that's part of the spirit that I try to bring into the team. I don't know how successful I am, but just to try to get the boys to calm down, just to try to think about what their effect on each other has. Yesterday, I was the other director in the team sort of presented the stage how we're going to do things, and then he said to one of the riders, "Your role's the key role." And I come in and I said, well, actually, every role's the key role. You know, like you said, the first guy that doesn't do his job, the second guy can't do his job well, and then the third guy can't do his job well. So every role, from the guy that's pumping the tyres to the bloke that tucks you in the bed at night, is the key role. And it's just about that. It's about mutual respect. It's about honesty. It's about trying to give you all for your mates. And that's what I said to him yesterday morning. Let's not finish today's stage with any doubts, and let's make sure that we give our all for our teammates, and that's what they did.
No, it's been sensational, mate. I just want to make sure you whisper in Jack's ear that I've got money on him today, so no pressure.
Oh, no.
No, well, Peter said if he can bling win the TT, pick bling 14 stages.
I have not. You guys love to stir a bit of shit, but no, Bling won't be winning the TT today. Bling has lost a bit of his shine in the last few days. I don't think he'll be worrying too much about that. I can't see anyone beating Roglic today, but he's been going deep. And it might be one of the good time trials who's had an easier couple of days. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Yep. Yeah. Well, bloody awesome having you on the potty, Sheriff. The fans have definitely loved it and they've got behind it, but we're super proud of everything you guys have achieved this month, mate. It's been fantastic.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Neil, is it what you imagine might happen? What was your sort of ambitions and targets for the team before you started? Is this a good result? Well, it's obviously a good result, but is it what you'd hoped for?
This is probably better than what we'd hoped for. It's a bit of an interesting question, actually. We were hoping for a podium finish with Landa, and so that's where the story started. I was also hoping to finish the race with my computer and my tablet, but anyway, I didn't. But the fact was that when Jack started the race, he actually just scraped into the team because of his injury. Then he got into the race as a worker, and then when things weren't quite working out well with Landa, I thought, let's try to get Jack into the top 10, maybe top 5. And then so our ambitions and hopes was that the start of the race was with a podium finish with Landa. It's ended up being with a different rider and different results. Not only have we got, hopefully Jack's riding his way to his first podium finish in a Grand Tour. Gino Matter, as you said, 5th overall, leading young rider, and we've pretty well guaranteed winning the team's classification as well. And so
that's amazing,
far and above any expectations.
Yeah, fantastic.
Sensational, mate. Bloody
brilliant,
awesome,
bud.
As you said, we appreciate you coming on the detour, Sheriff. Hope you catch
good
those
on you,
bastards that knock your stuff off.
See you, bud.
Okay, thanks for catching up.
Have a good day, mate.
See you, mate.
Okay, bye.
Neil Stevens, absolute legend, always a laugh. We obviously could have asked him about what happened with Lopez and that, but it's obviously another team. So what sort of insight he's going to give us? Dale says, any talk of a New Jersey classification at the world for the best abandonment?
Way down for zero on that one.
But that was interesting because, like, Phil, in your time, you've obviously called so many Grand Tours. I mean, here's a guy that is going to finish in the top 10, which is nothing to sneeze at. And his head absolutely falls off and there's a blow up. I mean, what did you make of all of that?
Well, I'd like to know a lot more to it than this. Something must have gone on there. He may have had a spit with Bernal. Bernal sort of was prepared to sacrifice his ride with him, or he may have had some sort of a mental blockage. The story will come out. You don't just stop like that when you're sitting. He was not going to obviously be third by the time he got to the finish. The gap was building, but Bernal only dropped one place despite that. So it was a mistake by Lopez for sure.
Well, evidently, reading all the the scuttlebutt that's on the different websites, he had a big blue with his team boss, his DS. That's what he got upset about. His DS, he said, told him not to chase right at that crucial time when the gap was only like 15 seconds.
As I've said, I'm not a rider, but at certain points, you just got to tell your DS to get stuffed.
No, they don't. But they don't do that. They don't do that. So
the thing is,
he's getting the tactics. So DS has made a thing.
Yeah, thanks for your advice, mate. Thanks for your advice. Get stuffed. I'm chasing.
Yeah,
what's he gonna do? Rip your earpiece
that's
out.
my
Take
dad.
responsibility.
I'm trying to tell you what he said, why he was done.
Yeah, well, no, it's his fault.
But he's just signed a new contract with Movistar, so he's committed for next year now.
Oh,
for
that's gonna be awkward.
And here he is falling out with his DS, if that's the case. Yeah. So it's going to be a rocky ride for a few weeks, and he's got to sort it all out. Yeah,
they're only stage winner in the race, so I suppose they're going to. It's just. I couldn't believe I saw it happening. I was watching it live, and I thought, this is.
Why wouldn't you want him to chase, John?
Yeah,
well, because there was because the gap was there, right?
Yes,
it was only about 15 seconds. Bernal sitting on. I think he was trying to force Bernal through. His sports director says, "No, stop chasing." Bernal put some pressure on Bernal. Then when they suddenly realised, oh, hang on, Bernal's not going to. Well, then he starts to chase. Went from 15 seconds to 30 seconds, and no one else chasing. It was too late then. It was never going to happen. And
it should have been an instant reaction the minute Jack Haig and the other leaders went to that front group. Instant reaction. You don't let the men ahead of you like that. I'm just behind you. Escape. It was a big mistake.
Pushkar's got a question. He says, in such tactical battles, how does the DS take a decision whether to chase or not, who to follow, etc.? We have a holistic picture on TV, but they're driving cars and serving bottles.
Well, they do though. They do make those decisions. They're watching exactly the same television that we're watching
in the
car, and they're on the radio. So he sees that gap. He sees that Bernal's just sitting behind him. So he says, "No, stop chasing." He's going to. I'm just surmising why he would say not to chase.
I got something to pose to Phil. Right, in every other sport in the world, Phil, soccer, basketball, AFL football, whatever. If the team are going no good, who gets sacked? The coach.
The manager.
A cycling team, the manager. If a cycling team doesn't perform, how often do you hear DSs going, "Hey mate, it's on your head. We've got to get rid of you." It's weird. It's a weird sport.
Well,
that. What is that?
I'm very much against race radios, full stop, always have been. I like to think the riders aren't robots, but they're there to ride for themselves. I know for the DS talking to the riders, he's living the part. And as you could see from the conversation with Neil, he's part of the whole thing. And, they do the plans the night before in the car. He's going to help them as best he can. And he obviously almost talked Jack up that final climb, keeping him making the effort only when it mattered. That's the other way to look at it. But for me, I like the bike riders to make the calls out on the race. And Lopez didn't make any call. You don't let the guy sitting on your shoulders on the last real race day of the welter slip out of your sight. Roglic never makes that mistake, ever. He goes with every move they make because he knows once they're out of sight and the elastic snapped, he's got no friends. He's not going to close that gap without a little help. He'll pace the whole field back, but they won't help him. So it was a pure mistake by Lopez for me. Yeah. And like you, I'd have had words to the DS and just told him, "My radio's broken, mate. Didn't hear you."
Well, I'll tell you
what. Get on with the chase.
Also, a great ride by a couple of other Aussies in that stage too. Chris Hamilton.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Great ride for his sixth. Although our commentators did miss his number. They were calling him Bernal up at that last climb for a little while. But
really?
Hey, there's an unwritten rule. If they're mates, you just don't even mention mistakes. Isn't that right, Phil? It's like
Yeah,
they never
absolutely.
happened.
Name
Don't
and
bring it
shame.
up now. Bring
No,
it up
no
now.
mates in the commentary game, mate. No mates in the commentary game.
Not these days.
No, I mean it's easy to do, but also Michael Storer, fantastic ride. He's now got the polka dot jersey. Only the second Aussie to get a polka dot jersey in the Vuelta, and only the third Aussie, I think, to get a polka dot jersey in a Grand Tour. So absolutely brilliant.
And well taken, so well taken. He wasn't a lucky king of the mountains on a one-day breakaway getting all the points. He went out on the hunt every day that it mattered. And clearly Bardet was there to help him in the end, which was... Yeah.
Should we mention the stage winner, Iffy, 25 minutes in?
Absolutely. Why not? First ever World Tour win, which was not mentioned on my television, I heard. But that's his first ever bike race win. And didn't look too gainly coming up the hill, but if I'd have been climbing that hill, I'd have looked a lot worse. But that was a very steep finish.
He's only a youngster.
Right. What a future, John, this kid's got.
Yeah.
I think he was 30. He's French.
Clément
Champoussin.
Very similar facial expressions to another classic Frenchman. What's his name?
On. Show me the picture again.
Had the yellow jersey in 2011.
Ah, yes.
What's his name? Vukla.
Oh,
Thomas Vukla.
Yeah. When he went on the attack, he really just played it up.
Not just spot on, Dan. Not just the facial expressions, but all over the bike. Vukla was exactly the same, actually, all over the bike. But gee, it was a good ride. It was the perfect timing. He's only a youngster, 23, and the way he was thumping his chest up across the line, it was really, he was pumped. It was fantastic.
Well, he's been a pro since he was a teenager too. I mean, this kid's
just now burst through big time. He's only ever been with AG Tour in his whole
question there for Stewie. The other Aussies, two of our King of the Mountain jerseys. So we had Simon Clark for Green Edge in the.
If he Steve-O got up him early on. We're not going to be defending this jersey, mate. And then when he got it, he goes, "I never doubted you, mate."
and Matty Lloyd in the Giro.
There you go.
Look at the
I'll tell you what we're going to do, fellas. We're going to have a quick drinks break, and I want to bring in a guy who's not afraid to get the one wood out, and I want to ask him about Lopez. I just hope he doesn't drop an F-bomb. That's, of course, Vaughan McBilly. He's going to give us an update with what's happening with the jerseys. And if you're going to give us the results of the loudest silent auction, the Amilla Maldives Resort.
Well, they've still got half an hour. They've still got half an hour to I've got my phone here taking emails.
So, Jerry, if you're watching, get ready. All right, we'll have a quick break and we'll come back afterwards and wrap things up and, announce the winners and get Vaughan's one wood out. I'm looking forward to it.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike. 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Life is like a two-way street. It's about consideration and mutual respect. Roads are much the same. However you get around, walk, ride or drive, if we share our roads, we can all be safer. The Amy Gillett Foundation is Australia's peak cycling safety charity. Our mission is for safe cycling in Australia. Our vision is for 0 cyclist deaths. Over the last year, we've seen an enormous increase in people taking up cycling, whether it be for recreation, with the family, commuting, or even to start your own cycling career. We need to do more to make it safer for every cyclist. 20 cyclists every day are hospitalised, and 1 cyclist is killed every 10 days on Australian roads. So, the next time you jump on your bike or hop in your car, remember to practice the 4 C's. Be courteous, calm, considerate, and conscientious. Every cyclist death is preventable, and we all deserve to get home safely. Please donate to help the Amy Gillett Foundation make the roads safer for you and for me.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange. And I actually want to say a massive shout out to Bike Exchange because they've been partners of the show from day dot, Iffy, and we wouldn't have been able to do the show without those guys. And also to the Amy Gillett Foundation, they're a very special partner because they've got great awareness campaigns, and we'll be supporting those guys in the future. Now, Vaughan McVilly has joined us, who's a board member for the Mental Wheels Foundation, mentalwheelsfoundation.org. Now, Vaughan, don't be afraid to get your one word out, but just be careful about the F-bombs. Lopez, what's the fallout?
All right. Well, listen, I thought it was a piss-poor performance by him. It's nearly as bad as Lando, like, nicking off after he wasn't going well and not hanging around and with the team. Like, he's dealt a really hard deck of cards there, and it was a really unfortunate situation that he ended up in, and Bernal not decided to chase and that tactical battle. But come on, mate, like, seriously, hang around. Like, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. You're still going to get a top 10 in the Grand Tour. Like, that's still going to be on your Palmer. Like, I was pretty angry with that. He's gone way down in my list of favourite riders, and he was way up there before that. So, piss poor, Dan.
Yeah. Is it one of the worst you reckon you've seen?
Oh, it's up there. I've seen a few fights post race that probably didn't need to happen. There was a couple of rippers a few years ago that were but yeah, like I also thought during the stage before he left though, like, it was a gutsy performance. Like, he was laying it all on the line, trying to chase back on his own while everyone was sitting on his wheels. At one stage, I honestly thought that he was going to, like, take off. He was like, had the old elbow for asking people to come around to do a turn. He was nearly flapping them so hard that he was going to take off. But yeah, no one would do a turn for him. And I was actually loving him even more. But then to hear what happened, I was like, oh, mate, come on. But what a stage. My God, that was an amazing stage.
Amazing stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
But in positive news, we were talking to Neil about earlier, is great to see, like, Aussies get around, like when Nick Schultz was pulling a couple of those turns there, particularly at the back end of a Grand Tour. Like, I remember when Esteban was leading the Giro, and a few of the Colombian riders said, if Esteban's there and I'm in a position to help him, I'm going to do it. Like, I don't care what team I'm on. Like, there just seems to be this sort of passion from wherever you come from to get around whoever's trying to get on the podium or do well in GC.
It's funny you mentioned that, Dan, because the Colombians can be a little bit like the Aussies. You don't see it a lot with a lot of the other countries, especially the European countries. The Italians on another team aren't going to help an Italian. But the Spanish do it a little bit, as we know, with poor old Cadell. But the Colombians, although Bernal didn't do it, there were 2 Colombians yesterday, last night, Bernal and Lopez. But anyway, yeah, that is good to see. You did right. Yeah.
Yep. So what's the update with the kit, Vaughan? Apex Customs. We announced the winning jersey design yesterday.
Yep.
But the word on the street is we need people to purchase these quick to get them in time for the Amy Gillett Grand Fondo.
That's right, mate. We've already actually had quite a few people jump on and already purchase, which is fantastic. So thank you very much. Remembering all of the proceeds go to the Amy Gillett Foundation. But you do need to jump on there. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks to produce clothing. And the issue that we currently have is freight, getting stuff from from overseas and into Australia at the moment with all the things going on with COVID, it's pushed our delivery time out to about 10 days, which is normally like 3 to 4 days. But yeah, getting that through. So we do need anyone who's actually doing the event. We really would love to try and get your orders in by Wednesday night at 6 p.m. The store's going to stay open. You're still going to be able to buy the kit going for all that. But if you want the kit for the event, try and jump online and order it by Wednesday night at 6 p.m.
Good stuff, mate.
Well, I didn't realise that because I got a few mates who I see on Tuesday's ride who have said they're going. There's about 6 or 7 of them who are going to get the kit. So I'll have to put a bit of pressure on them and to get that order in by Wednesday. But if we can push it sort of a day or so, that would be wonderful. But we'll do our best.
Sure, we can do something, mate.
Zippy says, now we're on the rabbit hole of worst abandonments in the Grand Tour. Do you reckon Lopez abandonment was worse than Aru's 2020 Tour de France abandonment?
Similar. Yeah. Aru's was a bit more like Landers.
Talk about weak as piss.
That was weak as piss. That's about not helping, not staying around and helping a mate. You know what I mean? Just being selfish. But this one is a little bit different. This is crazy. This is, he's going to finish, even if he just stays with Bernal, he's going to finish 5th. He's still going to finish top 5. He's only going to drop a couple of spots. But he just lost it.
And when he abandoned, there's pictures of him getting into the car and he's already on the phone. As he slams the door of the car, he sits down. He's on the phone already. I'd like to know who he was talking to.
Yeah. No, he was talking to his daughter and his missus and stuff. It came out, his old man did an interview. So,
his father-in-law. He's actually his father-in-law is an ex-pro. Yeah, and he was getting stuck into the DS for causing all. Yeah,
but even that, you're a professional athlete, right? Take responsibility. You pull out of a race. You're not going to get on the phone and go, piss me off. I'm pulling out. Like, come on, mate. Like, really? You know what I mean?
This is the Aussies in full cry. I love it.
It's stage 21, Phil.
He only gets about $2.5 million a year or something like that. So
that's right. Pete,
you never know what's going inside somebody's head, though. Like we're also supposed to be about mental health and looking after athletes. So we should wait till we hear the full story. But until we hear the full story, weak as piss.
That's it. I feel bad now that you've raised that because I've said harden up and told people call out dickheads and all that, and then here I am getting on the. I'll just say it's different for athletes in the middle of the race. After that, different. Support them, but in the heat of the moment, weak as piss. Peter Williams, Schultz could have also been riding to help Yates if he's ex-Bike Exchange teammate. So it's a double-edged sword there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, exactly. Yep. But Yates wasn't really worrying about doing turns right there at the moment. It was about Jack who needed the help, and he helped right at the right time. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Samantha made a good point because we often forget about the sprinters because Jakobsen needs to take the green jersey. I loved how the Koenig Quick Step team guided Jakobsen across the finish line, literally across the road.
Yeah, so he struggled the last couple of days. There was one day he made the time cut by 2.5 minutes. That's cutting it very close with the whole team riding together. But he was really struggled the last couple of days. Yeah. But hey, he deserves the green jersey. He's the best sprinter here. So good on him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, talking about the time trials, anything else we haven't uncovered, Iffy, from stage 20?
No, not really. I mean, it's an interesting. It's 33K, 33K, which is a.
No, I was talking about yesterday's stage. That's stage 20.
Well handled.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh no, I think
we can move on. Talk about time trial.
It was a great stage yesterday. Yeah. A couple of things that surprised me. I did wonder when the South African guy jumped away. A fantastic ride, actually.
Ryan Gibbons is a very good rider.
Yeah, very good bike rider. Yeah, and it was a really inspiring effort. But I was surprised that Michael Storer and Roman Bardet didn't react quicker when the gap was only about 30 seconds and just get going and join him. You know, they had a really good chance to win the stage, I thought. But obviously they'd spent a few pennies as well, because Gibbons rode out to a minute and a half, which on a descent, it wasn't like he got away on the climb, on the descent.
So who's your predictions for the stage today? Obviously Roglic, iffy. Do you think let's talk about the biggest question. Jack Haig, can he hold on to third? Will Yates make up a minute?
No, I don't think he will. I think that there's not a lot between them. As the prologue, 1 second between them. At the end of a Grand Tour, it's not who. If this was a 30K time trial at any time of the year, I would say there'd only be 10 or 15 seconds between them. That's where they are. At the end of a Grand Tour, it's whoever's got the most money in the bank. And I don't think either of them have got much money in the bank. You could see in that last few climbs, last few kilometres of that climb yesterday, Adam was giving it everything and dropping him on the steepest climbs, which he always does, but Jack was coming back. So to me, it shows there's nothing much between them. So I think it's going to be a very, very good race. And I think Jack will keep it by about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, it's a possibility. Don't forget, it's a 40-minute time trial, really, and to pull back a minute in 40 minutes is going to be very, very hard to do. But to balance that, Greg LeMond did a 28-kilometre time trial in 1989 and pulled back 58 seconds to win the tour.
He cheated.
According to John Tavaro, he cheated, but of course he didn't. Yeah.
Well, he had the bars. No one else knew about him.
Within the regulations, one-piece metal. Poor old Laurent Fignon strapped his on and wasn't allowed to use them. So it's unusual for the French to fight against their own and let the American win, but still. Yeah.
Carolyn Harvick
but the way
says,
Neil Stevens was talking, though, in fairness,
he's confident.
He thinks it's a done deal, and I hope he's right.
When Neil says at the end, we're going all right. Hey, I know him really well. That means it's really good. He's done all the numbers. He's crunched it. He knows the course. He's prepared everything. Like, I remember one year, I think I mentioned on the show earlier, he knew that there was going to be 5-minute drive from where the buses were to where the start was. So he had to take rollers for Esteban, and it was a sharp time trial. So he had all that planned because he'd done the recon like 3 months earlier. Every other team, no one else had rollers. And Esteban rode a time trial out of his life because he was on the rollers before the start. A lot of these other riders, they didn't do it. So they all had the lactic acid and their timings were out. It's all those little 1%ers. And that's why when he was saying about the 9-month prep that goes into a Grand Tour, it's huge. And also, like, obviously, I know Neil really well. It was a different culture when he first rolled in. He was a bit like, oh, hang on, what's going on here? There's a few things I need to sort of, try and mold a bit. And that has had a huge effect because of that whole, like that, when he was answering about that other DS saying, hey, you got the biggest roll today. So, oh, hang on. That was an evolution with Neil. And we were talking about that the other day, Iffy, about how when he first started with Green Edge, he was very much, this is what I say, this is what you do, and that's it, old school. And then he had to change because it just wasn't working with the younger guys. I remember going to a time trial at the Giro in 2013, and they did the recon, and the riders, Neil had a plan, and the rider said, Neil, we've done the course. It's not working like that. We need to change it. He goes, nah, this is the plan. That's it. And that just doesn't work. And he had to be sort of said, hey, mate, you need to change. And when I saw him in 2016, and I've talked about it a few times, his ability to treat riders and staff as shareholders, every single person, that to me was the game changer. That was the bar moving forward. And you see it in the results. And we constantly talk about culture on this show, and you talk about teams where it's starting to fracture and people want to leave and all this sort of stuff. That's the fundamentals. Every person in that organization has a role to play, and they do it. And I think Neil's going to have a massive influence on Bahrain, particularly next year and beyond. So when you see results with Jack, it's bloody exciting. Hey, Dave makes a good point. Just quickly, he says, good call on the mental health stuff with Lopez. He spoke before about the pressure of being a leader and considered some like a Tom Dumoulin. The language barrier makes it harder to know what's going on with the non-English speakers too. That is a great point. I'm going to stop saying he's soft and it was weak as piss, all this sort of stuff. It's true. It's true. I think logically, when you do something like that, there's something else at play, and we do keep banging on about this in the current climate. It'll all play out, but if there is sort of mental health issues, then he obviously needs support. Now, Vaughan's back. You had internet issues, Vaughan?
Sorry, lads. A little crash.
And last one, John Bodie says, Jack looks stuffed last night. Adam looks fresher. I think Adam will gain time on Jack. But if looking at Neil, he's crunched the numbers. I don't think it's going to be a minute.
No, look, you got to remember, on those really steep climbs, they suit Adam Yates to a T. And whereas Jack Haig is a much bigger guy, that doesn't suit him. The minute the gradient changed, he would come back. So, as Neil Stevens said, he wasn't stuffed. That's just the way you can ride those steep climbs. Neil was telling him to back off a little bit on the steepest part and coming back. So he was riding to a plan. So I think he'd be fine. I think Adam probably will beat him in the time trial, but not by a minute.
Yeah, and don't forget that Adam has been there before on the podium. Jack has never been there. He's going to come out in such a mental state of mind to succeed. He'll be I think he'll lose about 20 seconds. I'm guessing, of course. But I reckon he's going to be there.
Has Adam been on the podium in the Grand Tour? He's been fourth in the Tour de France. I don't know.
Oh,
has he been on the podium?
I'll let you know in about 30 seconds.
Simon's been on the podium and won a Grand Tour, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't think he has. Oh, yes. No. Well, before we announce the winner of the silent auction, Iffy, for the Amilla Resorts, let's play a quick promo to get behind why we're doing it. And that's obviously the Kareka Foundation for Phil's African Safari.
Hi everyone, it's Phil Liggett here, and it's time to get my African safari on the road again. We're heading back to the Kareka Game Reserve in the Eastern Cape of South Africa, where animals, including the rhino, roam freely. We did 4 great rides in June, and now, with 2 new ones, we're set to go again. There will be eminent guests to answer your questions on the wildlife and also offer an opportunity to win amazing trips to Kareka. We'll chat to one another, and you don't even have to ride, thanks to Full Gas, who will set you up to watch on Zoom when you enroll and make a donation. We have 4 rides, 1 per month, starting on September 19. They last an hour, and if you have a smart trainer, you can pedal your way through the reserve, or you can just sit back with a cup of tea. In either case, knowing that your participation is helping keep the animals safe and free to roam. Come and join me, and all the information you need to have is at kareka.co.za/peloton, and let's go.
Fantastic promotion there, and get behind Phil's African Safari Peloton and head along to the Kareka website. Now, Iffy, I'll play the promo before you announce the winner. Have you got your script for the final time? Your amended script?
I have. Located just a 30-minute seaplane flight from Male, Amilla Resort Resort and residents sit over the crystalline waters of Bar Atoll UNESCO World Biosphere. As one of the largest islands in the Maldives, Amilla has ample space for some of the largest luxury overwater beach pool villas and residences in the country. With leafy cycle tracks and secret beaches, Amilla is sure to exceed your expectations.
Perfect. And
it does look nice, doesn't it?
It's been a big build-up.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
What's the final bid?
Me and John are going.
It was all a stitch-up, folks. It's John and Phil. Pay 10 grand each. It's all done.
So, our top offer was $7,500, but just for 2. In the end, Jason and the resort offered if 4 people wanted to go, they would have to pay at least 10. But no, it's for 2 people, so $7,500, which is fantastic. So
yeah, that's great.
We will be in touch with the winners and send them all through the information and put them directly in touch with Kareka and the Maldives. So it'd be wonderful.
Well, and I think I don't often give you compliments, John. In fact, I'll give you a bugger all. But it was your idea to do a silent auction, because if we offered it just as a prize and randomly give it away to people that, donated money, I don't think it would have raised $7,500. So chapeau to you for driving that idea as well, John.
That is so good, John. If you send me the email of the people who've bought it, I'd like to write to them. And also, Jason, thanks so much for your generosity. Unbelievable. You've got us so close. You're within a couple of $1,000s now of our target, which was in all the fundraising we've done, mostly with you guys. $35,000 the target. We're very close now. I need to check, but we're around about 32, I think, at the moment. So unbelievable. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it's sensational. And it's, as you said, it's a great cause, mate. So we're happy to get behind it. And geez, knowing how creative we are, me and John, we'll come up with some more ideas down the track, won't we?
We will. Yeah, we'll keep working on it. We're looking forward. No, we're only, it's only, what's that, a week or 10 days to your first safari.
I know. That's why I'm going out on the bike. As soon as I finish with the podcast, I'm going for a ride because I better get training. Otherwise, I'll get dropped from my own peloton. That's
we'll be there, mate. We'll be there.
Final predictions, lads, for stage 21 time trial. I'll start with you, John.
Look, I'll go with the Roglic. I can't. He seems to have a fair bit of petrol left in the tank. He's the Olympic champion. I just think he'd be too strong.
Yeah, Phil.
Well, what can I say? I've got to agree, John. I looked down the list to see if there's anybody maybe from the bowels of the list going to turn in a great time trial, but they haven't got the drive now. There's no Spanish rider can end the dearth of stage wins in this tour. I don't think can win the time trial. I expect a good time trial from Enric Mas, but no, I can't see anybody beating Roglic at all. It's his course. It's not flat. He'll use his strength as he climbs steadily up to the finish at Santiago de Compostela. And, everything's on his side. This has been a religious race, don't forget. We started outside the big cathedral and we're finishing in one of the most religious sanctuaries in Spain. And so I think the gods are with him too.
Good stuff. And Vaughan, going to go past the Rog, mate? You got a curly for us?
I really don't think you can. I like Jackie Haig's big diesel though on this course. To be honest, I think he won't lose that much time to Yates. Yates would actually have to pull out a huge ride. He'd probably have to beat Roglic, I reckon, to get past Jackie. But yeah, I don't think you can go past Roglic. He's just in another world at the moment.
Definitely.
And you were right what you said because I checked it. Yates has only finished fourth in a Grand Tour. I get the two Yates confused, always have.
John's very rarely wrong with his stats.
They're twins, born 45 minutes apart. They come from Bury in Lancashire, which is not far from where I was brought up. So they're Lancastrians, and they're both great bike riders. So Yates does have something to ride for today as well. Yeah.
Well, just to go back, that year he finished fourth. He got the white jersey. He should have got on the podium.
Yellow ones too.
That was the year that the bloody the K to go bloody inflatable came down right. I mean, the timing of it unbelievable. Right down, bang, down he went, and that the seconds he lost there cost him third place in the Grand Tour. So anyway, just a bit of information.
Oh, by the way, Roglic now has won more leaders' jerseys than Chris Froome, who held the record.
Really?
Wow. I think it was 51. I think he's on his 52nd leaders' jersey in the Grand Tour today.
There you go.
He's setting it all up, isn't he?
Yeah,
Not
amazing.
bad for a junior world champion ski jumper.
That's it.
It's sensational.
Well, he actually fell off and got out of the business in ski jumping. He keeps falling off in bike races, but thankfully, he doesn't hurt himself so much.
So if he will be back live tomorrow night, 6:30, and we'll try and get Jack Haig on, yeah?
We want to. If
he doesn't answer,
exactly.
We'll
do our best to get Jack on.
You've got to get Jack.
And we'll get Phil. We'll get you to do a wrap up of the time trial. And I thought we'd have a really good chance. We will look at.
We'll get Lindy on as well from Kureka. We'll send her.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely.
If you don't reach her or have a problem, let me know, and I'm sure she'll be over the moon, Lindy, about what's happened this last 3 weeks.
And Vaughan, you can put your thinking cap on. Would like to. I know we're not all Australians are out there watching our show and viewing our show, but we do have an Australian sort of lineage, and I'd like to. We just have a look at the Aussies and give them all.
We're going to do that tomorrow night.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're
So-
going to pick. If you could
good.
pick all the Aussies in the
Oh
current
no,
World
no,
Tour-
I wasn't doing that.
another
No.
That's another
We're just
show.
gonna- We're just going to talk about the Aussies in this Vuelta,
Okay.
and we'll
Yeah.
rate
Got excited. Got
how they
excited.
went. No, that's a great show.
Done.
Yeah.
That's why people do call this thing chaos, because we do have production meetings at the end of the show. And we put it live.
With everybody listening, of course.
Yeah, with everyone listening.
Yeah, that's right.
I'd just like to send another shout out, a mate of ours, of all of ours, who's ex journo, now retired, Peter Coggoy, who always watches the show.
Racco.
Yeah, Coggoy. Yeah. Well, his lovely partner, Deirdre, who's not very well at the moment, but loves the show. Just wanted to send a shout out to Deirdre. All the best, Al. All the best.
Absolutely. And Cogsy will appreciate that. He's the one genuine Australian who's an absolute mine of information. Should never retire from journalism. Okay, look, and let me show you this. Are we ready to go now? I want to show you bike. Can you see my bike? Look at that. Can you see it?
Oh, mate.
Yeah. I brought it downstairs for the first time in 5 weeks.
Bet you didn't pay retail for that.
Yeah.
I didn't pay for it.
Yeah, of course. You're worse than Scotty.
Oh, yeah. Yes, well, the thing is that...
What's it worth? What could you resell it for?
I would never sell it. It's a generous present, and I'm very, very pleased to ride it, I must say.
Yeah, that's awesome. How did you score that for free?
I can't remember. Well, I happen to know the man who was in charge of Canyon, the CEO, and he sent me an email and said, "Would I like a bike?" Well, what do you think the answer was?
No.
And I have to say, in fairness, Specialized have done the same. So they're at the other house.
Okay. Oh, fantastic, mate.
My last goodbye to saying to everyone is, don't forget, enter for Amy's Great Ocean Road Grand Fondo. If you're going to be around in Victoria, it's on Sunday, 24th of October. You do the 130K, the 45K gravel Grand Fondo. You can do the Medio ride from Apollo Bay down to Lawn, 45K, or as a 14K family bike ride. If you want to enter and get a detour kit, you can be part of the detour mob, and Dan's going to be on the e-bike and motor paces all the way around. Yep.
Oh, don't forget to order your jerseys before Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
That's right. That's right. Don't miss out.
Pressure's on.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Pressure's on.
And make sure you go to apexcustomaus.com, get your jersey, get your kit, and we'll see you there. We'll see you also tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully, fingers crossed, but after talking to the sheriff, it should be okay. Jack Haig is on the podium. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take it easy.
It's going to be great.
This is the winning ride of the Tour de France.